My name might not ring a bell, but what I'm about to share will make you reflect on your own life. I did things in my life that I thought were harmless, but in reality, they turned out to be my biggest mistakes. I repeated them over and over, while time quietly slipped away. After 52 years, I finally realized that I was the one holding my own life back. That's when I started letting go of each mistake, one by one, and slowly my life began to change. I'm sharing this with you so that you don't waste the years I lost. And one more thing, if you really want to hear the truths about life, the things nobody says out loud, before you hear about these 20 mistakes, make sure to subscribe to my channel so that for as long as I'm alive, you can be part of this journey with me. Like this video, leave your name in the comments, and tell me if you've ever made any of these mistakes yourself. Now let's get started. Here are the 20 mistakes that stole over 52 years of my life.
Mistake number 1. I neglected my health for decades. I thought I was invincible. I skipped checkups, ignored aches and pains, and told myself, I'll deal with it later. At the time, it felt harmless. I was busy with work, family, and chasing small successes. But slowly, day by day, my body reminded me of the cost. Fatigue, stress, and little illnesses that could have been prevented started piling up. It wasn't just physical. Ignoring my health affected my mind, my mood, my patience with others. I didn't realize it then, but every skipped doctor visit, every late night, every unhealthy habit was silently stealing years of my life. Once I turned 52, I started taking it seriously. I began walking daily, eating properly, getting checkups, and respecting my body. Gradually, I noticed the change. My energy returned. My mind felt clearer. And I finally understood that health isn't just a part of life. It is life itself. So, take it from me. Don't repeat my mistake. Care for yourself, even when life feels busy. Those small, consistent steps will save you years of struggle and heartache later. Mistake number 2. I hid my feelings for most of my life. I believed staying silent made me strong. I didn't talk about fear, sadness, or confusion. I kept telling myself, I'll handle it on my own. But silence slowly turned into distance. People around me thought I was fine, while inside I felt heavy and alone. Relationships suffered, not because others didn't care, but because I never let them see the real me. I missed chances to connect deeply with my wife, my children, my friends, simply because I was afraid of looking weak. Years passed, and those unspoken emotions piled up like weight on my chest. After 52 years, I finally started opening up. I spoke honestly, even when it felt uncomfortable. And something surprising happened. People didn't pull away. They came closer. I felt lighter, calmer, and more at peace. Here's the truth I learned too late. Hiding your feelings doesn't protect you. It isolates you. Speak, share, let people in. It might save your relationships and your soul. Mistake number 4. I took the people I loved for granted. I assumed they would always be there. I thought there would always be more time to say thank you, to say I'm sorry, to say I love you. I got comfortable. I stopped listening carefully. I delayed conversations that mattered, and without realizing it, days turned into years. Then one day, some of those chairs were empty forever. That's when it hit me. Love needs attention. Relationships need effort. Silence and delay slowly damage even the strongest bonds. After 52 years, I changed. I started expressing gratitude, showing up and speaking from the heart. And those small actions healed more than I ever expected. Please don't repeat this mistake. Cherish people while they're still here. Say what needs to be said now, not later. Mistake number 3. I made money more important than life itself. I told myself I was working hard for my family, for security, for the future. But the truth is, I was rarely present. I missed dinners, birthdays, and quiet moments that never come back. I believed success was measured by income and status, not by time spent with the people who loved me. And slowly, without realizing it, life passed me by. By the time I reached my 50s, I noticed something painful. The money was there, but the memories were not. The people around me had grown used to my absence. I had built comfort, but lost connection. That's when I changed. I reduced work, valued time over money, and chose presence over profit. And I learned something simple but powerful. Money can be earned again. Time cannot. Don't make this mistake. Earn what you need, but don't trade your life for it. The richest moments are never found in a bank account. Mistake number 5. I kept waiting for the right time. I delayed my dreams, my decisions, and even my happiness. I told myself, I'll do it when things settle down. But life never really settles. Years passed while I waited. Opportunities came and went. I stayed where I was, not because I couldn't move forward, but because I was afraid of failure, afraid of change, afraid of starting over. At 52, I finally understood the truth. The right time doesn't come. You create it. Small steps taken today matter more than perfect plans for tomorrow. When I stopped waiting and started acting, my life slowly changed. Not overnight, but meaningfully. Don't make this mistake. If something matters to you, begin now. Time moves forward, whether you do or not. Mistake number 6. I ignored my health when I was young. I thought my body would always keep up with me. I ate poorly, slept less, worked too much, and told myself I'd take care of my health later. Later never came. Small habits turned into big problems. The energy I once had slowly disappeared. Doctor visits became frequent, and I realized most of this pain was avoidable. At 52, I finally started changing. Better food, daily walks, rest, and listening to my body. I didn't become young again, but I did feel alive again. Here's what I learned too late. Your body keeps score. Treat it well early, and it will carry you far. Ignore it, and it will stop you when you least expect it. Mistake number 7. I lived my life trying to impress others. I made choices based on what people would think, not what I truly wanted. I chased approval instead of peace. I worked jobs I didn't love, said yes when I wanted to say no, and stayed quiet when I should have spoken up. All because I was afraid of judgment, afraid of disappointing people who weren't even living my life. After 52 years, I realized something painful. No matter how hard you try, you can't please everyone. And while I was busy proving myself to others, I was slowly losing myself. When I finally stopped performing and started living honestly, I felt lighter, calmer, more real. Don't make this mistake. Live a life that makes you proud. At the end, it's your life, not theirs. Mistake number 8. I stayed silent when I should have spoken the truth. I swallowed my feelings to keep the peace. I told myself it wasn't worth the argument. But silence has a cost. Every unspoken word turned into regret. Every truth I buried became resentment. People around me never truly knew what I felt because I never gave them the chance. After 52 years, I learned this the hard way. Unspoken pain doesn't disappear. It just waits. It shows up later as distance, anger, or loneliness. When I finally started speaking honestly, calmly, respectfully, things changed. Some conversations were uncomfortable, but they were real. And real conversations build real connections. If something matters to you, say it. Your voice deserves space in your own life. Mistake number 9. I kept waiting for the right time. The right time to start. The right time to change. The right time to become who I wanted to be. I told myself I'd do it next year, after one more responsibility, after things calmed down. But life never slows down. The right time never arrives on its own. Years passed while I waited. Dreams stayed dreams. Plans stayed ideas. And slowly, waiting turned into regret. At 52, I realized I wasn't unlucky. I was just late to my own life. When I finally started doing things imperfectly, everything shifted. Progress didn't come from perfect timing. It came from action, small steps, messy beginnings. If you're waiting for the perfect moment, listen to me carefully. It doesn't exist. Start now. Time is already moving without you. Mistake number 10. I treated my body like it would last forever. I worked through exhaustion. I ignored pain. I skipped rest, thinking success mattered more than health. I told myself I'd take care of my body later, after I achieved more, after life slowed down. But the body keeps score, quietly, patiently. By the time I paid attention, the damage was already done. Energy was gone. Simple things became difficult. And I realized no achievement is worth losing your health. When I finally started respecting my body, eating better, resting, listening to warning signs, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Relief. If you're young and healthy today, don't waste it. Health isn't a reward at the end of life. It's the foundation of everything you want to build. Mistake number 11. I stayed quiet to keep the peace. I swallowed my words, my needs, my opinions, thinking silence was strength. There were moments when I should have said no. Times I should have defended myself. Conversations I avoided because I was afraid of conflict. And every time I stayed silent, a small part of me disappeared. Years later, I realized silence doesn't protect relationships. It slowly poisons them. People never knew who I really was because I never fully showed up. When I finally learned to speak honestly, calmly, and respectfully, something changed. I felt lighter, stronger, more real. If something hurts you, say it. If something matters to you, speak it. Your voice is not a problem, it's a responsibility. Mistake number 12. I spent decades chasing approval from everyone around me. I thought that if people liked me, respected me, or praised me, then I was doing life right. I bent myself to fit others' expectations. At work, at home, with friends, I made choices to impress, not because they were right for me. I said yes when I wanted to say no and avoided conflict even when it mattered. It took me years to realize that chasing validation is exhausting and never satisfying. No matter how much you give, it's never enough if you depend on others for your worth. When I finally started making decisions based on my own values, not someone else's opinion, I felt a freedom I had never known. Life became clearer, calmer, and much more joyful. If you want peace, stop living to meet everyone else's expectations. Live for yourself, and the right people will respect that. Mistake number 13, trusting the wrong people too easily. For many years, I assumed that everyone around me had good intentions. I shared my time, energy, and sometimes even money with people I thought I could rely on. But slowly, I learned the hard way that not everyone deserves your trust. I faced betrayals, disappointments, and heartbreaks. Some from friends, some from colleagues, and even some from people I loved. Each incident taught me a painful but crucial lesson. Trust is earned, not given blindly. Over time, I became more discerning. I learned to observe actions more than words, to protect my peace, and to invest my trust in those who truly deserved it. This shift didn't make me cynical. It made me wiser, stronger, and more selective with the energy I gave to others. If I could tell my younger self one thing about relationships, it would be: protect your heart, choose your companions carefully, and don't let kindness be mistaken for naivety. Mistake number 14, ignoring my mental health for decades. I spent so many years focusing only on work, responsibilities, and what I thought was being strong. I ignored the whispers of anxiety, the weight of stress, and the quiet loneliness that crept into my days. I told myself, it's just life. Everyone feels this way. But in truth, I was slowly draining my energy and happiness. I didn't seek help, didn't talk openly about my struggles, and kept pretending that everything was fine. It wasn't until much later, when I finally acknowledged my feelings and sought support, that I realized how vital mental well-being is. Simple habits like talking to someone I trusted, journaling my thoughts, and allowing myself to rest completely changed my life. If I could go back, I would tell my younger self, take care of your mind as much as your body. Ignoring it only costs years of peace, joy, and connection. Mistake number 15, not managing my money wisely. For decades, I spent freely, without planning, thinking that tomorrow would always take care of itself. I ignored budgeting, saving, or investing. I thought small luxuries and impulses mattered more than building a secure future. By the time I was in my 50s, I realized how much unnecessary stress I had created. There were opportunities I missed, dreams I postponed, and moments I worried endlessly about finances that could have been avoided. When I finally learned to manage my money, save wisely, and make thoughtful financial decisions, I felt a huge burden lift. It wasn't just about wealth, it was about peace of mind and freedom to live without constant stress. If I could give one piece of advice to younger people, it would be this: treat your money with respect, plan for the future, and never underestimate the power of financial discipline. It will change your life more than you can imagine. Mistake number 16, neglecting friendships. For much of my life, I prioritized work, family, and personal goals over keeping in touch with friends. I thought I could always reconnect later, or that old friends would always be there. But life has a way of moving fast. People change, circumstances shift, and suddenly, the people who once brought laughter and comfort are distant memories. I lost touch with friends who could have been my support in tough times. Simple calls, messages, or meetups could have maintained those bonds. But I didn't make the effort. When I finally understood the value of true friendships, I began reaching out, rekindling relationships, and making time for those who mattered. It was like rediscovering a part of my heart I had forgotten. Friendships aren't just social. They are lifelines, mirrors, and sources of joy. Don't wait decades like I did to realize their importance. Nurture them, cherish them, and make time before it's too late. Mistake number 17, ignoring personal growth. For years, I thought I had learned enough, that my skills, knowledge, and mindset were sufficient. I stopped pushing myself to grow, to challenge my limits, to explore new ideas. I repeated routines and lived in comfort zones, thinking that was enough. It wasn't until my late 50s that I realized how much I had stagnated. I had missed opportunities to learn new skills, understand different perspectives, and become a better version of myself. Life had been passing me by while I stood still. When I finally committed to personal growth, I started reading more, learning new things, reflecting on my choices, and embracing challenges I had once avoided. Every step of growth brought energy, excitement, and a sense of purpose back into my life. Don't make the same mistake I did. Personal growth is a lifelong journey. Keep learning, keep evolving, and never settle for being stagnant. Your future self will thank you. Mistake number 19, ignoring personal growth. For many years, I stayed in my comfort zone. I stopped learning, stopped exploring, and convinced myself I knew enough. I ignored books, advice, and experiences that could have broadened my mind and enriched my life. Looking back, I see how stagnant I had become, how many opportunities passed me by because I feared change or thought it was too late. When I finally committed to learning again, even at an advanced age, my perspective shifted. New skills, new ideas, even small daily improvements brought meaning, confidence, and joy that I had missed for decades. Personal growth doesn't have an age limit. It's what keeps your mind alive, your spirit engaged, and your life evolving. Never stop learning. Never stop growing. Even small steps every day can transform your world if you embrace them fully. Mistake number 20, not expressing gratitude. For decades, I focused on what I didn't have, what went wrong, what I wanted next. I rarely paused to appreciate the people around me, the moments I lived, the simple joys that make life beautiful. It's astonishing how much life slips by when you forget to say thank you, to acknowledge kindness, to truly notice love and support. When I finally started expressing gratitude, telling my family, friends, and even strangers how much they mattered, my world changed. Relationships deepened, joy multiplied, and my heart felt lighter. Gratitude doesn't just improve your life, it transforms it. Don't wait until it's too late. Start today. Appreciate, acknowledge, and speak your thanks. It's one of the simplest, yet most powerful ways to live fully.